Good morning everyone, Ember November here. Welcome to my ugly kitchen. The key word for today's dessert is decadence. Because I believe you deserve some decadence in your life. We are going to make blueberry cinnamon rolls. Now to answer your questions. Yes, we will be using yeast. Yes, we will be watching our dough rise. These are not scary things. Be comforted in knowing if I can manage to figure it out, anyone can. So there's no excuse. You can make this decadence. So why don't we just begin? First of all, we have to get our yeast activated. You just need 3 things to get your yeast going. 1, the yeast. 2, you need some warm liquid, usually water. In this case, we're going to use milk to make it even yummier. And you also need sugar. These 3 things all work together. Here's my recipe. Also, it's been so long, I don't know where I got this recipe from, somewhere online. 3/4 cup warm milk. And I'm gonna stick this in the microwave for a little bit. Now the key here is you want it warm, but you don't want it scalding hot, because otherwise it'll kill the yeast. I don't have like a food thermometer, so I just stick my finger in, and if it's warm and not scalding hot, I use it. Okay, so I put it in the microwave on high for a minute. That was too hot. So now I'm just letting it cool a little bit. While it does, I'm gonna get my 1/4 cup of sugar ready, okay? Okay, and I'm not gonna put all of this in there, but I know I'm gonna need a 1/4 cup sugar later on, and I'm just gonna sprinkle some of the sugar into here. Maybe like that much. Get that sugar dissolving. Let's test out. Okay, that feels like a good temperature. Not too hot, but still slightly warm. Next up on the docket is 2.5 teaspoons yeast. I'm just using this active dry yeast, instant yeast, I guess. And a half. Give it a stir. This is one of my favorite parts, guys. You get to see the yeast in action, and it's really so cool. Now, you kind of just let it sit here for like 5 minutes. We'll make sure everything is going well. You'll kind of see what's going on. So, what actually happens is the yeast eats the sugar, and then basically farts. And that is when you know your yeast is activated. You can already see it happening here, like it's bubbling up air pockets. It's really cool to watch. I'm just gonna record this and then speed it up so you can see the process. Alright, that's already ready. That took no time at all. Look at that. That is some active, ready yeast. See, my dudes, there was nothing to be afraid of. That took no time at all. Super easy. That's yeast right there. There you go. I have 1/4 cup of butter melting in the microwave right now. While that's melting, I'm gonna pour the yeast into the big bowl. I'm gonna put the rest of the sugar in here, and then it calls for 2 eggs. My butter's ready. Give it a good little stir. 3/4 teaspoon salt. Next up is the flour, and I am using bread flour, and I'll explain why in a minute. 3 cups. 1, 2, or 3. Oh, it just feels so nice. While I have been trying to use like whole wheat flour in my baking, there's something so nice about this bread flour. Okay, now it's getting to the point where I can use my hands. And of course, this is where most people will use like a mixer, KitchenAid thing. I'm gonna use my hands because I don't have those. Also, I actually enjoy using my hands a lot more in this process. It makes me feel a lot more connected to what I'm doing. So here we are. And this is the part that kind of takes a little while, but it's pretty much my favorite part. And like whether you're making homemade bread or anything else that requires kneading of dough, I'm telling you, this is so therapeutic, and you'll get some pretty strong forearms while you're at it. Just try not to drop it on the floor, because I've definitely done that before. And I'm gonna do this, it'll probably be like 10 or 15 minutes. So kind of a long time. You can see where people would like to use a machine for this, but really, like this, just imagine Play-Doh. Play-Doh, Play-Doh. It's pretend dough. It's so fun and therapeutic. So I highly recommend you use your hands for this. Seriously, smells so good too. Now you don't have to use bread flour for this. You can use normal flour. That's totally fine. The benefits of using bread flour, there's two. One is its moisture retaining ability. Number two, it's higher in protein, and protein helps yeast rise better. It helps you rise. Someone else can explain that better. Please do so in the comments. This is already feeling pretty nice. If it feels too dry, you can add a little bit of water. If it feels too moist, add a little bit of flour. Easy peasy. I didn't think about this. Usually I have this lower, like by my belly button. But for the camera, I've been doing it up here. It's quite a workout. My arms are burning. Whew. My arms are dying. They're burning. I think I'm happy with this. I'm looking at the record time. It says 6 minutes, 48 seconds. It's not even that long. Yeah, I think I'm happy with this. Looks beautiful. I'm gonna plop it in the big bowl now. Whoa. And now I'm gonna wait an hour, and you will not believe how big this thing will be in an hour. Yeah, usually around an hour or until it doubles in size, but I swear this thing sometimes triples in size. I'm also gonna take a damp towel, put it over it, and that'll help keep it moist and not dried out. Doo-doo. There we go. We'll come back in an hour and check on this bad boy. My dough is almost ready. I can't wait to show you. I'm gonna give it a little longer. If you're having trouble getting your dough to rise, you can also like put it somewhere warm. That helps as well. So while I'm letting it finish up for the next few minutes, I'm going to work on the filling and get that prepared ahead of time. So come on, let's go work on that. 2/3 cup brown sugar. 1.5 tablespoons of cinnamon. 1/4 cup softened butter. And it's already soft. Perfect. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like crumbly. Okay guys, are you ready to see the big reveal? Ooh, this is so beautiful. Like this is always my favorite part, like just seeing how big the dough gets. It's so fun. And it's warm, you can feel it, it's warm, it's squishy, it's wonderful. Come on, baby. Oh! Oh, I love this. It feels so good. I love this. Okay, I've just grabbed some softened butter, and I'm just gonna work it into the dough. Here I have my bowl of blueberries. I also usually put walnuts, like chopped walnuts in here. You could do pecans. Oh, those are, I never get those though, they're way too expensive. And I kind of press them in. I'm just gonna use them all. You can see when you do this, it's like you could put anything you want to make your your own kind of cinnamon roll thing, however you want. It's so fun. Now we're gonna roll, and you just want to do it like as tight as possible. And then sometimes I like tuck in the sides as I go to help keep everything in. The blueberries definitely like to spill out. Oh my. This is what they call a log. Kind of looks like a caterpillar to me. Voila. Alright my dudes, now that you have your log ready, what I recommend is before you cut the slices, get your pan ready. I'm using a basic square pan. I definitely recommend getting parchment paper and using that to line this, but unfortunately I'm out and I'm not going to go get some more right now. That helps so much with the mess. With this I'm going to do nine pieces if I can manage. I am terrible at cutting. I can't measure. I think I might actually, instead of a knife, I think I'm going to use this thing, which we 3D printed. We 3D printed this back when we first got Pet G and didn't know, we didn't have the settings locked in yet, so it kind of messed up. However, I still use it because it works well, and Pet G is food safe. Wish me luck. Every time I do this, I cut them so unevenly, and they recommend cutting off the ends because it's just usually just bread. So you can do that if you want. I'm not going to because I don't like throwing them away. Maybe if I start like, you know what? I don't know. That's so not right. I'm just gonna go for it. Oh, that's so bad. Ah, oh my gosh. Disaster. My log. Da-da-da. I have 9 pieces. They're all completely different sizes. That's not ideal. Now I'm going to cover them again for the second time, and this is for the next step called the second rise. Dun-dun! And this can be for like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Somewhere around that point, I start preheating the oven, and I even put them on the oven to help that heat really rise them up. So let's do that. There we go. My hubby's been working on melting his own candle from our leftover candles. It's looking pretty sweet so far. 350 cinnamon rolls there. As you can see, I'm just making some rice here. You can see my slices were so uneven. Holy cow! These have risen a ton. I need to get these in the oven. Put that in there for 350 for 25 minutes. Oh my goodness. That's ginormous. Holy frijoles. So this is what happens when you don't cut evenly. But you guys, the smell right now is so good. Oh my Lanza. Alright my dudes, we are nearly done. Hang with me, we just have the frosting left. Ta-dun! So let's see, I have 4 ounces of cream cheese, 3 tablespoons of butter, 3/4 cup powdered sugar. I am going to do a little bit of vanilla and a little bit of maple. I love maple frosting on blueberry cinnamon rolls. Really gotta smush it together. Oops. I have, oh. Hopefully my deltoid looks big. Really? Wow, here's some amazing looking frosting. Am I right? All right, there we go.